To you, YHWH. In the precious mighty name of YHWH, HaMashiach, I pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I do want to say greetings unto the nation. Those that are scattered abroad, we bring to you tonight the truth of his Torah, that he may bless the inward parts of us, and that we may understand those things that are vital to our growth and the most important things in this life. That's vitally important, nation. I want to teach tonight. I want to do this with simplicity. I want to teach basically out of the books of Mashal. And that is simply the wisdom that there are men that uttered. It is esoterical, it is profound, it is beyond the ability to comprehend within a natural scope. One must be led by Ruach, and the Ruach must open up the wise sayings of Torah. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I want you to just listen attentively. I'm not going to tell you where I'm reading from. You will know whether it is fallacy, falsehood, because if it doesn't indict our hearts, if it doesn't speak according to Torah, you will know. You have heard enough to know whether it is of Yah or not. And I have, during the course of this week, laboring and studying the Torah. When I say laboring, it takes an intense effort to understand those things. If we as a nation just think that we know, we really don't know. We have not labored in Torah to understand all the details that are hidden in so many variants of Torah, and that's just the fact, nation. I want to bring to us 22 Keetvay, 22 scriptures. And 22 is the number that represents the ma'or, the greatness, the brilliancy of the light of Yah, that it causes the heart to rejoice. It causes one to delight and to rejoice in the abundance of the blessings of Almighty Yah and YHWH. I want to speak by the ethical wisdom of Torah. That in the sense it creates in us as a nation, the YisraYah'ale, a mindset that is superior. It is beyond the reproach of any people, any wisdom, but it surpasses any kind of secular wisdom that one may speak. And the men that spoke the YisraYah'ale were wise men. They were elected of Yah, and Yah, he entrusted them with that profound knowledge. And so if there's anything that Yah opens up unto us, he has entrusted us with that nation. And there is nothing wrong with one wise speaking to us. And so I want to bring out the traits, the elements, the identity of one that is wise, and especially a wise, a chacham, a man that is wise. He is intelligent in the lecturing or teaching of Torah. He does it with precise command of his delivery, and he knows what he is saying. He understands what he is saying. And these YisraYah'ale, they will embody nothing but the pure truth of Torah. And then if it's the pure truth, it will convince, and not only convince, but convict your heart. Yeah. I want to begin here as Shlomo speaks unto us as a nation by the wise principles of Torah. He speaks in Mishli, in Proverbs. These are the words of Shlomo. I want you all to just listen. Put your books down. I just want you to hear. I'm not going to tell you where I'm reading from. I mention the book that I will read out of, so you will know that somewhere during the course of your life, you have read this Ketuv, and it will draw back to memory what you received when you read it. This is what Shlomo says here. He commands us to shemach. We must hear Musa. We must hear the discipline of instruction. We must hear the correction of instruction. We must hear the repudiation of whatever form that the Musa presents itself, the counsel, the instruction. We must hear. It is one thing about hearing any form of instruction. It will make you examine yourself. I don't care if it's right or if it's wrong. Someone says something that they're absolutely wrong. Then it makes you question your realness, your faithfulness, how you are easily offended. I don't care if it comes from the mouth of a child. It makes no difference who it comes from. So as a nation, we must, first of all, we must shemach instruction. And once you hear instruction, he commands us to be chacham. You become wise. You will be endowed with the power of that wisdom. You become wise. And there's one thing about us as a nation, we resent the Musa, the instruction, the counseling of Yah. And that's why we have not reached a level of maturity that we are wise sons and daughters of YisraYah'ale. Now the Torah tells us the traits and the attributes of a wise man or a wise daughter of Zion. And they can be identified in that person. And if that doesn't represent what Yah says in Scripture, then one is not wise. One has not matured to that level, and because they have not heard. Hear instructions, once you hear them, and be hacham, be wise. You will become wise. And it tells us to para, don't refuse it. Don't deny it and refuse it not. In essence, para, don't try to avoid it. Don't try to neglect that. Don't say that it is of no essential value. And that's the way our emotions dictate to us. It takes us into that realm where we avoid things that will make us wise.
Yes.
You must hear instructions in order to become wiser. That's what the book is. It is a book of literally nothing but instructions. It tells us how to be ready, how to prepare, how to cleanse, how to wash. So we must hear the instructions. And para, we cannot reject it, not denounce it. Because there's one thing about any kind of instruction of wisdom, it is always going to make us better. It's not going to placate our emotions. So we may not feel like it's for me, but it is for us. Yeah. It is for us. And Yah will always correct His children. He calls us children, little children. And that's how we act, that's how we respond, and that's how we carry ourselves. As they say, the terminology today, they get into their feelings. And we get into our feelings. And once we get into our feelings, it's a sign of emotionalism and immaturity. You will know when someone is immature, especially in the wise things when they began to get into their feeling. So let us first of all, we must hear. We must shemach with a desire to understand and obey it faithfully. We must hear because we heard something that one presented unto us and it began to dictate our emotions and our feelings. And it was in no way meant for that. It was meant to strengthen. No mother, you that have brought forth siblings, a father, will instruct their children, musa, counsel, repudiate. There is only one purpose for that, to enhance them, to make them strong, to make them viable. That's what it's all about. And that's the simple truth, nation. And the way a child responds, we in the spiritual realm, we respond the same way. Children get emotional, and we do the very same thing. So that's our first priority. We must hear. Once we hear this, as Shlomo spoke so profoundly, he tells us once we hear this, Sirach speaks in a way that emphasizes it greater than Shlomo. I want to read from the writings of Sirach, the wise man that taught and lectured on the Torah of Yah unto the students of YHWH. He says it like this, I like this. The mind, the leba, the mind, the ruach, are the wise. I want us to hear me, all right? Try to stay awake. Yeah. He says that the leba, the mind, the heart, of the wise individual, they will hara, they will ponder, they will think, they will meditate, they will understand the substance, and they will speak from that wise mind. And so a wise mind will always edify. It will always bring enlightenment. He will listen to a mashal. And a mashal is a language of speech that is uttered that the natural mindset cannot grasp it. It's a parable. It's a mashal. It is wisdom. So if our minds are not minds of wisdom, we cannot understand wise speech. That one will be, that one, as Shirach says, they will ponder, they will think, they will meditate upon that thing. And there's a comma here in Shirach 3, listen. And he talks about the attentive ear. He says, and the attentive ear is the wise man's desire. See, a desire, and the most important desire of a wise man is to have an attentive ear. Don't hear by emotions. You must hear the substance of the matter. I am a student. I know I say this often. I don't boast in this, but I am so ignorant. I am a student of each individual words, punctuation, because it all implies something. It all. And so a wise man, he wants his ears to be attentive. His ayin, he wants to see, he wants to hear. His ozen, he wants to hear from his ears. And because of that, when one speaks that one perceived to be wise, then one will say, I am all ears. You've never heard of that proverb, I am all ears? That's what one would say. I am all ears. In essence, I will give attention, I will be attentive to the wise things that are being uttered and that are being said. It is vitally important, nation, that we be attentive, that we give the attention that is necessary to hear the matter first. Don't allow your emotionalism to pervert you. And we are a people that we are so shallow, and the most reckoning thing of our lives is that we can't confess and say, you're right. That's our problem. And it's sad. It's very, very sad, nation. We can allow those things to inhabit our minds because they will literally destroy us. It destroys love. It destroys friendship. It destroys honor, because we all think that we are above. We are above any kind of instructions. I have people, he see it, that post stuff. They don't say anything about the other Achim, but they blash out at me. I don't have any problems with that. I don't lose any sleep behind that at all. I'm glad that they speak wonderful accolades about the Achim. They don't realize that we have grown together. We have been here together. That's their ignorance, and they don't understand. So first of all, whatever you hear from the Torah, you must be attentive. You must be hagar. You must be attentive unto that. You must ponder that. That's what the mind of the wise will do. And then the mind of the wise, once one ponders and understands, he receives, she receives the commandments, the mitzvah, the instructions of Yah. And Shalom will give us great wisdom of this as he speaks. The wise in heart and love. When a man is wise in his love, he will receive, she will receive. It is acceptance unto them. She will receive commandments. Well, what are the commandments? What are the mitzvah of Yah, the mitzvot? Well, the Torah identifies it as the codes or the code of wisdom. That's what a mitzvah is. And if we cannot receive the mitzvah of Yah, the instructions of Yah, then we have no DNA prototype of wisdom. We're not wise. We're not wise. We have no prototype of wisdom in us at all. Because he says the wise in heart will receive commandments. And then he talks about a prating, but the prating fool, he talks about the safar. That's what prating is. You understand what prating is? It is one that talks excessively with no real substance. They like the clown, they like the bull jive, And that's what prating is. But a prating fool, they're going to always fall. They're going to be consumed by their own prating. They talk, but there is no substance to their talk. There's no life to their talk. But there's life to a wise person's conversation. And if they correct you, let us not get offended by that. Let us receive it because it's pure. It can't hurt us. It makes us more progressive, gives us the ability to grow beyond our own expectation. We get too much into our feelings. As the young generation today say, you're in your feelings. And that's this generation. It gets into their feeling, and your feelings are going to destroy you. It's going to mess you up royally. You can't do that. You got to get out of you, and we must have the mind of YHWH HaMashiach. And so one must hear, and when one hears, one ponders, and when one ponders the mitzvah of Almighty Yah, they receive it. They receive that commandment, that instruction, that call of wisdom. We must receive it. We must mature and esteem to a higher level nation. We must. There is no way around it. We must do that, YisraYah'ale. And it is one thing, it gives us safety in the promises of Almighty Yah. That's what counsel does. That's what instructions will do. If we just ponder in life for a moment, everything you do, when you walk in the store, there is instruction. There are areas that you know not to go in. You cannot proceed beyond the area, tell you cannot go back there. And that's what instructions will do. But when Yah says to us, you can't do that, you can't respond like that, then we get into our feelings and our emotions. That's what we get into. Yeah. We get into our emotions, our feelings, and then we lose the essence of the things that are vitally important, and you're going to lose every time. And that's just a fact, nation of YisraYah'ale. The profound utterance of Shlomo, it is written in the book of wisdom. I will read it for you. He says this: for the nations of the world, you, we, I, they shall see the end of the wise. You will know that when a wise man has ceased, a wise daughter of Zion, you're going to see their end, not in the sense of the separation because of death. That's one of the components. But he said, you shall see the end of the wise, and shall not understand. This is our problem. We don't understand what Yah purposed in his counsel. You don't understand. You don't understand what a wise one speaks as knowledge cause them to speak. You don't understand what the purpose of Yah is in that counsel. You think a child understands the correction of the parents? You think they understand the purpose? Just like we don't. We don't understand what Yah purpose in that thing. And when a child grows and mature, I look back on my mother putting the rod to me, and I honestly, with truth, I bless my mother. I know she's dead and gone, but I told her, Yah, for every stick she put on my backside. I really do. She didn't do anything to kill me. She bruised me. But she knew through her experience in life and how I was brought forth and the path she followed, that if I followed that path, she didn't tell me don't be like me, but she certainly knew that the things were improper and the ways were improper. So we don't even know. For they shall see the end of the wise. And when we see their end, when they stop uttering the things of Yah, and shall not understand Don't even understand what Yah purpose. He purposed in his counsel, has decreed of him. We don't even understand that. So when a wise person speaks, it's showing you, or he or she is showing you, that the decree that Yah has placed in them, you don't even understand. And that's why we get so emotional. We get so emotional. We get angry. We can't even pray right. We can't even act right. We have to do things of pretense. We don't even feel right around them. That's silly. That's a level of immaturity that stinks. And it's just a fact, nation. Hallelujah. It's just a fact. We don't even know how to integrate ourselves and cooperate with others. That's a sick mind. I don't want to be like that. I want to understand the depths of Yah's counsel for me. When these Achim stand here, you think that they're not counseling me? You think that I reject what they say? I can say this. Now, I'm not boasting in it. I concur with everything they say. And I let them know they're talking to me. And if you're talking to me up here, then I can talk to any of us up here as well, all right? And not only that, I can talk to you in things that will help you expand. I would be a flat-out fool, daughters of Zion, sons of YisraYah'ale, if I'm speaking to us, not desiring that you expand on everything. That's foolish. That's crazy. It's insane. I want to see every brother. My desire is to see every person excel me. That's my desire. Evangelist Hartsfield will say this to us. He says, if I'm here, you must be here. You're not going to be down here. Bam. As I climb this ladder of Yaakov, you must climb it with me. I'll make sure that there is no kind of elements that will harm you as I ascend in the spiritual things of Yah. I don't want you tagging back here. That's the way he would do it. I'm here, you're here. That's like that. We go together. Not me talking over your head. I don't want to talk over anyone's head. I talk to us, all right? Yeah. That decree of him, and then he says this, and to what end Yah has set him in safety. We don't even understand the safety of counsel. And the end of that wise counsel, it is for your safety. I don't care if it motivates you or see the lack of motivation. That should not trouble us, nation. It shouldn't trouble us at all. Point out my weakness. Point out my insecurities. Point them out. Let me know. Riak, you talking loud. I know I'm talking loud. There is nothing more valuable to the congregation of YisraYah'ale than wise sons and daughters of YisraYah'ale. We have learned to be foolish. We can giggle and clown all day long. We have not learned to be wise and take advantage of the codes of wisdom. Because wisdom will say to you, daughters and sons, don't act like that. I don't care what you did, how you acted when you were in the world. I've always been this way. I have not always been the way I am. I don't have no habitual habits that when Yah delivered me, that I brought that kind of transition into the way of Yah. I don't act like I used to act. I don't act like I act when I was 50 years old. I don't act like this year I did when I was last year. I don't act like that. And so there are things, I don't care how long you've been doing that, you have abandoned that. Cast that folly aside. It's not helpful and healthy for any of us as a nation of Yah's people. Hallelujah. So we must here, nation, have 22 keys to faith for us. I'm going to open up light tonight, all right? Yeah. The light that it shines on me. That it shines on me. That it shines on me. That includes you. That it shines on you. That it shines on you. That it shines on you. It must shine on you. It must. And that's just a fat nation. And then we will find safety in the purpose. A mother never counsel her child, her son or daughter, without the most obvious thing. The father talked so that the young man could understand there is safety in what I say. And even though the father may have been disturbed with his attitude, boy, you make me angry with the things you're doing, yet his heart cried out. And then he saw the evolution of that young son or the daughter. The mother saw that as they saw the change, YisraYah'ale. And that's the truth. That's the truth. And so when he matures to be a man, then you all sit down with the conversation. And then he understands the beauty of what his father granted unto him and the doors that he opened. You'll understand that greater than anything, nation. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And then with all of those attributes, you must do this. You must listen. See, you hear, but you don't listen, because we are people who say, I heard what you said. No, you did not. Yeah, I heard. No, you did not. I can see the self and emotions getting involved now. You must listen to counsel. Listen. Hear what the Ruach of Yah says. Listen to this profound utterance. It tells us the derech of a man that is an Edom, one that is foolish and immature. The way of a foolish man, and we that are foolish, he's always yaksha. It is upright in his own eyes. He's right. Everybody infringing upon me. Yeah. I don't mind you infringing on me. I don't. What am I saying? I don't care. There are people that say things to me. It doesn't affect me. Okay. People tell one fella, he may be listening. You need to lose some weight. You don't have to tell me that, my friend. I know that. You stop eating so much meat. Okay. Well, I'll stop eating so much. How about that? But I'm going to eat this meat. So our ways that are foolish, they're upright in my eyes. We're always upright, are we not? Yes. They're doing me wrong. Nobody's doing you wrong. You're doing yourself wrong because you don't hear. And then he says, but he that listens, he that listens to counsel is wise. Hallelujah. He that listens to any kind of counseling, it is wise. I don't care whose mouth it's from. Yes. It's still wise. When a person listens to counsel, we're not dealing with our feelings and emotions. But when a person, you know that that's a sign of a wise individual when they listen. And you can tell when someone is listening. Come on, you parents that have raised children, you that are raising them, you talk to your children, they look at you and say, well, you know they didn't hear nothing you said. He's a little thing too. You will know they didn't hear nothing you said. You think a little fellow like him, Mama says something, I've said things to him, he just looks at me. Like little coconut head, I will thump you on your fat nose. I will spread it all the way across your face. Come here. Give me your nose. I will splatter your fat nose. Look at me like that again. I will make it bigger than what it is. Bring it over here. I will put that on it. Give each other some dap. He changed his whole attitude. He starts smiling. We go through the thumb dap. We go through the finger dap. We go through the elbow dap. And we go through the fist dap. We got 4 or 5 daps that we dap on. But I tell him, see him? I will flatten your nose, son. I will spread it wider than what it is. I will make it splatter across your face. And I give him a look that he knows that I'm giving him a look. Oh, he alters his attitude from that. You understand? He does. So you that are wise, you must always listen. You don't even know the nugget that is found in just listening. You may not like it. It may offend you. It's one thing about a wise individual. They are shrewds. That's what the Torah, that's what YHWH is. They speak with shrewdness. They don't care about your feelings or emotions, because that's why they can see, that's why you like that, because you've been like that all your life. I'm not like I was when I was 22. I'm not like I was when I was 32 or 42 or 52. I'm not that same person. My attitude, everything about me, I can see the increments of understanding the purpose of His will every day. And it caused things to be altered in my life. I put together a message today about 8 pages. I sat there for in all about 1 hour. When I say things like that, we may think that I'm not just talking, nation. And I was talking to this daughter in Arkansas, and I said, this didn't come by some voice in my ear. I said, the voice of Torah spoke to me. And when I went to search the elements of that, I was blown backwards. It's a profound teaching. It is. We must hear. And as we have been taught, as our Zachin Yeramaya taught us, there's a fountain we must drink from. Yeah. We must drink from the living water. You understand? Yeah. And this is what this wise power, or the power of wisdom, when being wise, knowing how to use the principles of Yah, it is because he has drink from the fountain of life. YisraYah'ale says the Torah of the wise, of the Chacham, of the wise person. It is a fountain, it is a machor, it is a fountain of life. It is a fountain of living life, of living substance. The words are live, whether they reprove, correct, or cut. Yes. The words they speak, it brings the fountain of the living water, because it flows from an inward part, and it is sincere. One that is not sincere, they have a fountain of bitterness and death. There's no living water in them. So that is what the fountain that flows from, or the Torah, the commands of one that is wise. It is a fountain not only to him, but from those that need a drink from it. It will cause life. It will cause effervescence. It will cause enthusiasm. It will cause all those things in nature. And we need that in this time. Hallelujah. We need that above all things. We need that above all things. You understand? We need that. I was saying to my YHWH, I said, we're going to go one day and just sit with my friend, and we have some nice, I said, some rotisserie chicken and a little lemon zest, some little orange zest, and a little dry rub on it, and just enjoy the bountiful things of life. Hallelujah. We have to stop our silly ways, nation. We must leave the young ones a legacy of truth. Yes. I don't want to leave anything that is fictitious or false. I want to be real in everything I do. I want you to see the example of me when I preach. And this is my example, what I say. And so when I hear the Achim, when the men of Yah, I want them to be that same example of what we teach and preach. You understand? Not only because we listen to counsel, there's a fountain that flows from us, but it's one thing that a wise man does, a wise daughter. Oh, hear me. It makes those that are wise even wiser. And so they complement each other. Your wiseness makes me wiser, and my wiseness makes you wiser. How do I know? It says this: he that walks with wise men shall be wise. You walk with those that are wise, halach, you travel the same road. You step, or you in footstep with them. And so when a person walks with a wise man or a wise man, then it makes not only him that walk, because he is walking with him and he is walking with him. It makes them both wiser. It is a complement to each other. And they become wiser, they act wiser. So we must walk the same walk. And then we will both be wiser. And we all will be wiser. That is important. Because we must understand the times and the circumstances that we as a nation of people, we're in now. There's so many unlearned men that are out there. And the people are being, they are being taken by this sorrow witchcraft. When a man walks with a wise man, he becomes wiser. Daughter, you walk with a wise mother, you become wiser. How does one that has no experience in many things tell one how to experience that? You can't. I was talking to one today, and I give my testimony of my honesty and my faithfulness. And I could sense from the quietness of that person that they were sad. This person is real. And I repudiated, there was repudiation. It was, and I talked loud. And that's a fact. It's just a fact. But yet I could sense the appreciation. I could sense that. I really appreciate what you said. We must come to that conclusion, because if you're wise enough, you will know when one is speaking wise. Because it will always improve you. My grandmother would say, "Now sit upright, boy." They didn't slouch back in my days. That was just a fact. They didn't slouch. You did not go as a young boy. We didn't do that. When I was his age, I didn't do that. I did not, well, of course, it wasn't no 2.5 hour service either. You in there at 11, 11:45, you out. But my grandmother would sit there all staunch. She would sit erect. You never knew when she was looking, but you knew when she looked. It wasn't something quick to catch. It was slow motion. And you all better be lined up on that pew. And we were. We were. So they taught us things that were indelible in life today. Hallelujah. Listen to this. It says this. Sit down, my friend. That's all right. It says this. It's one thing that a wise person always does, and we get very offended. They always speak judgment. It's important, because Yah is known by his Ruach HaMishpatim of judgment. The spirit of the Ruach of Yah, and the wisdom of Shlomo speaks from the book of wisdom. And this is what Shlomo says, his wisdom. He said, out of my wisdom, because I'm wise, Yah has granted me to speak with judgment. He said, now what I'm saying to you, and what I'm teaching you, I do it with judgment. Yah has granted, he has natan, he has bestowed upon me, he has given unto me to speak, first of all, with judgment, and to conceive as it is meet for the things that are given to me. that these things that Yah has granted unto me, he has conceived in me, that I will give them unto you. Because, this is what he says, because Yah is the one that guides and leads to wisdom. Yah's the one. I can't lead you or lead myself. Yah is the one that guides us. And he leads us to wisdom. There's a common there. And there's a conjunction there. There's a compound there. And directs and corrects the wise. You that are wise, he always corrects you. He's not talking from the heavens. He's not speaking out of the volume of the heavens. He calls wise men and daughters of Zion to walk with you. And they will correct us. They will speak correction. He calls those that are wiser than us to walk with us, talk with us, and correct us with our principles of the way we're doing things that are not applicable to a wise man or daughter's intuition. That's wisdom there. And that's what the Most High does, nation. That's what he does. He will always speak, but the wise man will always speak with judgment. This is how we keep ourselves cleansed. YHWH says, Yah counsel me. He used the word, correct me. Correct me. How? In thy judgment. And not in your anger, Yah. Your anger. Your great despising. Your chava. Don't correct me that way. Because if you correct me in your anger, you're going to bring me to nothing. Yes. Least I be brought to naught. So we have to get our emotions, nation. Our feelings. We that are old, we need to stop it. All of us that are the eldest of this little small gathering. We must stop that. We must leave a legacy of the way to walk to our young ones. They must be able to see in us. I had the young ones over, they stopped. I was doing some things last night in prayer time. And when he was here, we had a conversation. He said, I listened to a lot of people before I heard you. He said, when I heard you, I stopped listening to all of them. Our precious friend there in Texas, he said, Rayak, I was so messed up. And when I started listening to you, I stopped listening to all of them. That doesn't make me great. It's one thing that as the children, we were looking at this tremendous video that a man put out. He was in his sleep and he talked about judgment coming. It was graphic. I watched him the way he looked. I watched her, and they just looked. They looked with captivation. And all the preachers this man knows, they go to him. You understand? He speaks at counselings of events. He was speaking at Martin Luther King's day. Of all the preachers that he knows, there go my picture pops up. I said, the only thing I like about it, I would love to be that size again. Neat and swamps. I'm not going to lie to you. That looks nice there. And his words was, Pastor Roberts, though your ways be difficult, my ways, I have no way. Yet Yah is going to, in this great tribulation, they're going to come in a flood. Well, he prophesied that wrong. If this man had any wisdom, if he was a wise man, you would think, if I heard a man talk like me, I would send him an offering, because I've done it too many times for other men. And I would send an offering large enough that it will make him take notice that he's going to respond. Maybe call me if the telephone number is on the check. I've done it that way. Yet this man has never contacted me. And his wife doesn't like me at all. It's all right with me, you understand? And I watched them as they were enraptured into that. That doesn't make... Listen, if I was so special, you think I would be out here working as hard as I work? That's why I do work, because we are special. You understand? That's why, nation. That's why. Pains or nothing slows me. But there are things that I know I have to take care of that are important, and ordering things and managing things. I have to do those things too, nation of YisraYah'ale. So let us understand the beauty of judgment and Barak Yah for all the judgment that he sends our way. It's one thing about a wise man, you will see the increase. When someone gets some form of wealth, do you not see the increase? You will see the fatness of that one. You will see the spiritual excellence of that one. It says here in Mishuli proverb, a wise man will hear, he will shalak, he will be attentive, he will show great interest, he will listen to, and he will increase in lecha. He will increase, he will grow exponentially in insight. He will increase in learning, lecha. And his voice will be persuasive. When he talks, it is quite persuasive. That's what lecha is. And he will increase in learning. That's what one wise will always increase in lecha. They have great insight. They have knowledge of things. Things that they've never experienced. They'll have insight. And not only that. And then once that man gets understanding, a man of understanding, see, this is the only thing that we negate. A wise man like Shlomo said, and a man of understanding shall attain. He loves, he acquires, he buys. He will buy wise counsel. Tekabullah. He will buy the counsel of direction, attitude, how to go, how to prepare. He will buy those things. But a man that is a mature daughter, they won't buy those things, nation. Because one will believe that he or she has all that it takes, and that's just not the truth. Not one of us. Not one of us. And that's just the truth. It's going to take us hand in hand. It's going to take the nation walking hand in hand. It's going to take the strong forbearing those that have left strength and bearing them up. It's going to take that nation. You understand? You think you can stand alone? You are a flat fool. You are a fool, and if you think that the world is going to assist you in your demise, you are really foolish. You are foolish. If you think the world thinks that way because of these persons, you are silly, and with you it's not going to happen. And that's just a fact. It's a fact. I always think about my brother's little child. She died. She was 15 when she died. And one day I had a conversation with her. I said to her, I will go every Shabbat after the broadcast and sit with her. And until she passed away, I never missed one Shabbat. And she was so sad. So when I saw her, she just said, I miss you all so much. I thought I had did something wrong. And I promised y'all that I will never, nothing circumvented us. And so I went and picked her up and took her to my home, and we sat. She was just nothing but bones. She had leukemia. She was dying. And I said to her, because I could hear the children playing outside, I said to her, do your friends come to see you? She says, no. There was one, she lived down the street, she used to, but as I got sicker, she just stopped. She said, nobody comes to see me. Nobody but you. And Raphael, and she appreciated that so much. The husband of my brother's wife divorced. He would not let any of them come to the house. She would listen to the broadcast, but he would let me come. He was a crazy man. He never entreated me wrong. He never spoke anything. He was very courteous and kind. But the rest of my relatives, he would let you know you're not coming here. He didn't let them come. And so when I saw, when you think about things like that, when, you know, we bear the weakness of one another. I know I'm the weakest man here. I say that. Then we can strengthen one another in the greatest of calamities, chaos. Because we'll find out how many folks really care about it. And that is a fact. People are not going to, they're not going to allow you to circumvent their time. They got time to do everything but nothing. And that's just a fact. So it's a beautiful thing, nation, that we can have just a few one another. I love that, just to have each other. Who it is, sons, daughters, children. It makes no difference. She had nobody come see her. Nobody but us. And we went that until she passed. When they all went to the hospital with her, I didn't go because she was in a coma. There was nothing I could do. And I didn't go. You understand? Let me move on. I want to finish this tonight. All right? Hallelujah. So a wise person always loved wise counsel. They adhered to it. And then let me say this to us all. If we're wise, one of the most profound insignias of our attitude is this. Let me read it. I'll read it. I'll read it. And you tell me whether you've read this before. I know you have. It says this. Correct, in essence, YHWH, counsel Musa. And when you correct one, they are convinced. You must convince them. You must convince them. Correct, it says, not one that is a scorner or a loose. You don't correct one that makes mouth. They talk, they're arrogant, they're loud, and they show their teeth because they are despisers of truth. You see it in their pawn name. You don't correct it. That one. Because that one will sonay. That one will hate you. Least he hates you. It says, correct a wise man, and he will love you. See, a wise man. When a man is wise, when a daughter is wise, you show them the way of truth. They will love you. But when you correct a scorner or someone that is foolish, they will let you know they don't like your approach. You will see it in the expression, the facial expression. You will see that. We need to check ourselves. We need to check ourselves diligently. I don't care who the counsel comes from. As long as anything someone says, you make you check yourself. See, someone will say, you're fat, Rhea. Well, it makes me check myself that I don't try to retort. I'm coming back at you. That's what the world says, doesn't it? Yes. I'm coming back. I don't want to be that way. You understand? So you don't correct it. But then this is so profound here. He says, he used the word G-I-V-E, which is not. You bestow, you grant, you facilitate, give instruction. This is Musa. You give correction. You teach that one discipline. Give instruction to a wise man. And he will be yet wiser. The picture becomes clearer. He becomes wiser. Teach a man that is just and sincere, and that man, if he's a just man, he will increase in lecha. He will increase in learning, and you will see that. You will see what a man increase in learning. These are the traits and the attributes of one that is wise. You don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to show them anything, because the vision is just beyond their visual that's directly in front of them. They have peripheral. They see in every direction. They see tomorrow and they see the end of this year. You know, I was saying to my friend in the back, I said, I already have the feast days, but I'll put them up. I told my friend, we had them up the first. We'll do them on the Shabbat, all right? I like to go over them and over them to make sure. But I have them and plan out things. I said to him, I said, the board it's going to begin on a Sunday. I said, I said, this is what I would love to do. I love to have it that way, so when the week comes, we have the week. You may have the whole week. I said, we gather that Sunday evening with great fellowship of eating, excitement, and enjoying each other. And then that morning, the Achim preached that Monday morning. And then we have fellowship and just eat that day. I don't care if it's nobody but us, you understand? Yes. And I said that Tuesday we have a wonderful, I said the more of them were about reacquaintance and acquainting one with each other. I said we take the trip down to Columbia, to the big park. School is closed. School is in, so you don't have to worry about anyone. They have a huge lake. It's a wonderful place. They go, they can enjoy themselves. And I said on that Wednesday we have a great, excellent fun day, just fellowshipping here, doing things that are just wonderful. And then on that Thursday we take a trip to the zoo there in North Carolina, and the youngins will love that. And then we can stop at that place, that mall up there, and see that look at him. He like, that's right. And have a wonderful time up there. And then on that Friday, it'll be a day of just intermingling and fellowship and enjoying each other. Then we have Shabbat. And then we have a great meal. What a beautiful time. Yeah. I'll hold the fort down. That's the way it should be, you understand? So I see all those things that are planned, all the way then. That's the way a wise man sees things. He doesn't just see things just in his visual. I was saying to him as my friend and I went across to see the dirt we can move. He said, man, he can put us a road. Yes, because I was thinking this is not the best way to do it here. So we walked the ladder. I said, that's what he will do. And just get that tight and hard in there. So we must always be progressive. You must know I know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I know if it rains Friday, what I'm going to do. No, I'm not planning ahead, but I am planning ahead. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I got to do to finish up those fence over there. I know what I need to do. I know what has to be done. I know we need. I know all those things. I'm not just looking at next week. We're in the winter now. I'm looking at the winter. Okay. Let me move quickly. Hallelujah. 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 It is one thing about a wise person, da'at, knowledge must always abound. He must be thoroughly furnished with da'at. They can discern. First of all, they discern their nature and know what I am all about. But this is what Sirach says. The knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood. It flows out of one like a rushing river. It brings life. It refreshes. It causes one to bathe. The knowledge, the da'at of the wise shall abound like a flood. Listen to this. And his musa, his counsel, is like a pure fountain of living water. You know why we react the way we do? Because first of all, we don't give time for studying. See, these things I know. And so I understand and I know nation. That's what flows out counsel. And his counsel is like a pure fountain of living water, because he counsels out of the fountain, YHWH, he counsels out of the fountain of the living water that flows from his belly, and that living water is the testimony of YHWH HaMashiach. And we get upset with that, we get angry, we get mad. We don't like that. That's the counsel of the wise. Young man didn't understand that his lips were parched and mama trying to give him a cold drink of water. He didn't understand, she didn't understand that daddy poured out his heart to her, and the fountain of life. He's lived long enough to experience many of the things that would throw one off course. He knows the roads. He was there before you were born. And that's what flows out of him. We are a nation, we get in our feelings so easy. We get in our feelings. We allow the emotions to supersede what is truth. It will make us think this way about this one, or that one, or this one. That's wrong. That's evil. It's surmising. And it's from your pappy, the devil. That is from the gates of hell, my friend. Even hell won't let that in. It's from the gates of hell. I'm just telling you. It's not of Yah. It's not of Yah. Wisdom always counsels. I don't care how wise you are. Wisdom will always counsel you. And a wise man loves to hear another wise man, because he gets wiser. He listens to a wise man because it makes him wise. He listens to the instruction because it makes him more complete. It makes him more resound. It does, nation. And that's just a fact. Hallelujah. I'm digging down deep, am I not? Yes. And you all will know where I'm coming from, Torah. You know this is from the book, don't you? Yes. I didn't make this up. I'm not that wise. I'm not that smart. Hallelujah. It is one thing that a wise person will always do. You will know this. If a man counsel one out of this book, let me read it. It says, a wise man will not hate the Torah. He will hate nothing about the Torah. And the Torah is a collection of writings to correct us. We walked away from the counsel of Yah, so he has established men, daughters of Zion, mothers, to be mothers unto the assembly, to correct us, to teach us the love of Torah and the care of Torah. A wise man will not hate the Torah, but he who is a hypocrite about it. See, when you're a hypocrite, the Torah teaches about counseling. All of the soundness of Shalom will taught us about counseling. But when you're a hypocrite, when you're hypocritical about it, you're like a boat in a storm. You get crazy. You can't tell me when a boat is in a storm. It's topsy-turvy, isn't it? The water spins. It's up and down. That's how we are. We're up, we're down, we're sideways, we're emotional. We show our stupidity. And that's just a fact. But when we're hypocritical about love, we're hypocritical about care, we're just like a boat in a storm, because someone has caused the waters to begin to thrash vehemently against you. The water of the fountain will flow from the wise man's mouth. And you can see us shaking and tossing to and fro in the water. That's, come on, nation of YisraYah'ale. Come on, you can't be hypocritical. I will be less than a hypocrite if I speak things of reproof and counsel here to us and you that are listening. And yet myself, I got a different plane that I walk on. That ain't so. There are things different from me. Just do what I tell you. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Yeah, I want you to worry about what I'm doing. Don't let me fool you like a fool. Hallelujah. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't let me make you a fool. You believe lies that I spew out of my mouth? No, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it from this book. Nothing that I heard a voice. I will prove this from the book. All right?
Yeah.
Hallelujah. I say to us, not because I'm wise, YisraYah'ale. I'm no wiser than any of us. I simply know how to take what Yah grants unto me and see the utilization of it. This is important right here. I want to read. It says this. Learning what a man learns, what a daughter learns. Learning to the wise. When a wise man learns, when he receives Musa and counsel, learning to the wise is like a golden ornament. So if you got a beautiful golden ornament on, everybody sees it, doesn't it? Yes, they do. You go out here with a big gold lock and a chain like that, and you got your 2 fists all gold. This is what learning is to a wise man. He loves it. He desires it. He makes time for Yah. His physicality or his weakness doesn't impede him. But learning is to the wise man like a golden ornament and like a bracelet upon his arm. You see those things. And so you will see a man that is a learned man. When a man is wise, he is learned. You will know that when he speaks. You will know that. So he did not learn just by being lackadaisia or lazy and attending to things that are full of frivolity. That's not the way you learn. You must give yourself over unto the application of Torah. I don't care if I rather understand 2 words in one Keetvay, one night and every night, than to read 6 chapters. I'd rather understand 1 verse. I'd rather break down 1 verse, understand the components of that, than to read 6 chapters. That's a fact. I'd rather ponder that, lay it out. I'd rather lay out each word in that verse, and that's the way I do things. Hear the Torah of Yah. Tell me if you think this is true. A wise man will instruct Musa counsel his own people. That's what a wise man will always do. He's going to instruct his wise people. You don't go out there and you see these heathen children acting like fools. And you say anything to the parents. I know I don't. I may look at the heathen child. And it's one thing about children, when they look at me, they get a little frightened. I've done it too many times. I would just look at them. They can be cutting up. I've done it too many times. I get by with that, believe me. I don't care if mom is there or whomever. And mama may see, why is he so quiet? Look over there and look at me. And I look at it. It says this. A wise man will instruct. See, a wise man doesn't try to instruct those that are not a part of his comradeship or his people. And the fruit of his understanding, it never fails. It fails not. Wise man, the fruit of his understanding doesn't fail. I'm speaking from the understanding of Yah, okay? Yeah. This fruit is not going to fail if we hear it. It will never fail, nation. A wise man shall be filled with the blessings of Yah. And all they that see him, they will know. They will count him happy. I don't have to grin and laugh in their face. They will know that he's a man that is secure. He's assured. He's a man that is Oshia. He's full of the riches of Yah. He's full of Yah's counsel. He's see, and they will see him. That's the wise man. I don't try to make myself noticeable. That's a fact. I don't go in stores looking here, seeing who I may see I know. That's not my style. I'm on my business. I go and get what I want. I don't care who sees me. I'm not hiding from no one. I go in the store. I'm not looking over there. Who is that? If my friend walked in the store, I wouldn't know it's him. Because there's something about that personality, that visibility. You will know. I don't go in store. I don't go in Walmart looking. I go in Walmart. I know I need to go. Go get the bread. Stop by this guy. I go get everything, and I go around Walmart. I don't walk through the store. I go all the way there. I go down one side, I go all the way. I go down this aisle, get what I need. Go all the way down. I go all the way around the back. And I go all the way around the store, and I come and hide between the aisles, and I wait for her. That's me. That's how I do it. She takes a cart, she goes this way. I take a cart. What do you need me to get? The usual. I go around the store, on the outskirts, and I go on the outskirts on the back, all around. And by the time I get there, it won't be long she's there. And I'll get between where the magazines are, and I may pick up a magazine, not that trash. And I'll look at it, or read it. And I'll put myself in a position where I can see that. But I don't go there looking for nobody. Nobody to look for. Who am I looking for? She's with me. That's all I'm looking for. Just she. What up? That's me. That's just the fact of the matter. I don't even like going in places like that. Hallelujah. And I don't like her going in there by herself, so when I'm with her, I always go with her. The fact of the matter. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Look at this. There are not many wise men. The studious scribe of Jeremiah, he writes here. Baruch, he says this. He talks about our time. He says, for in that time, in the time of the latter, of the Acharith, he says, there will not be found many wise men. There are not many wise men in this hour that we're in. There will not be found many wise men. There will also be not many intelligent men. Every man thinks he's intelligent. That doesn't mean he's intelligent. This is what God says. In the hour we're in, there are not many wise men. There are not many intelligent men. They're not. For in that time, there will not be found many wise men, and there will also be not many intelligent men. But in addition, they who know, those that understand and that are wise, will be silent more and more. I'm not trying to save the world. I can't save it. I'm doing a job that is not sufficient trying to save me. The only thing I can do is save myself from this generation that is violently a reproach against y'all. And that's a fact. I'm not reading from no philosophy of some man or some strange edict. I'm reading from the book, Torah. Then he says this, and Yahweh, the mighty one, heard Hezekiah. For Hezekiah was wise, the king. He prayed, and he had a testimony that Yah added unto him. He was wise. And because he was wise, it says, and Yah paid attention to his prayers, for he was a righteous man. He was wise and he was righteous. And because of that, you that are wise, you should want to open up that wisdom, not in the foolish mannerism that we're so accustomed to, that those that are with you may be wise, and you may walk with them. I don't want to walk outside of the fellowship here. That's me. You can. I love my fellowship here. I love my fellowship here. I love it. I love the Yaakov. I love the daughters of Zion. That's a fact. I said to my shoulder, I said, what? Let's do something. Get some of those organic chickens and do some rotisserie. I said, what do you think they like better? The Sunday is the day off. She says, the turkey ham. I said, no. I say, ask them all. You see what they say? Ask the daughters, I guarantee, give me, I'd rather have the rotisserie. You take it, get you some oranges, and get you some orange zest. See, we're people that we don't understand the great benefits of things like that. We're used to eating this way, put a little pepper on this salt. Get some white pepper put on it. White pepper is hotter than black pepper. It is. Hallelujah. Hezekiah was a man and was wise. And because of that nation, Yah paid attention to his prayer. It will. And there's one sure thing about a wise man. He doesn't make any kind of verbose. He doesn't want to be seen. This is a sure identity of a wise man. The wise will be silent. He doesn't talk. When he talks, it's of great value. He doesn't jive, shuck, buck, and clown around. The wise will be silent. But the man that is foolish, he's going to speak. You will find out a foolish man because he always got something to say. I tell men, brother, just be quiet. Stop it. You always got something to say. You always got to talk. There are men that always, they got to say something. It says, but the foolish will always be. Foolish man's going to always say something. He's going to always. And the thought of men will not be realized then, nor the counsel of the strong and the tikvah of those who have tikvah will not even realize. We talk about a time we don't even realize what is wise counsel. We can identify foolish men. We can identify immature daughters of Zion. We don't know how to, because there are not many wise men and there are not many intelligent men. Don't let nobody trick you. I don't care if one has a college degree. That doesn't make him intelligent. Because an intelligent man, he takes any resource and he can utilize that and find all the essence of it, and he can utilize it and gain all the benefits from it. That's what an intelligent man does. There are men that have no high school diploma, they work a job. So a man with a college degree, he's working a job too. So what's the difference? They're the same. Yes. There are men that didn't even finish high school, got more money the same than a man got a college degree. I know it's right, son. I remember my Ishora, we were going to adopt a child. And they had a child for us right here in Columbia, South Carolina, a student, young girl, and she had gotten impregnated at the university by one of the professors. And they looked at features and everything, and take the resemblant features of my wife and I. And the child, they said, look, you're going to pick it. You can pick up the child, whatever you want the child, you know. You can do that. But then when I thought about that, I said, wow, you know, just, in a way, I should have adopted maybe 2 or 3 children, 4 or 5. But I'm too old, I can't go back. Adopt one? Okay. What do you say, son? You said no. Don't adopt one. Huh? What about 5? No. Okay. We'll just rest on that part, okay? Let me read these last few verses. I must complete my 21 verses. There's one thing about a wise man's heart. He will always, daughters, you will always comprehend the purpose of Musa counsel. Ezra says, teach them, we must teach each other. Teach them the concepts of Yah, the principle. You only teach them to the wise of the people, whose heart, whose levy, they will know, they will understand, and they may comprehend the depths of the secrets of Yah. You teach, the things you teach just to Yah's people, they were to the wise. Everyone is not wise. They don't comprehend. They're not going to retain, and they're not going to keep. And that's what Yah's doing for his people today. He's trying to teach us so that we may retain these things. We got a road to travel. We all got to go down that road, nation. One of the most profound aspects of a wise person, they understand this. Let me read it. This is spoken from the level of Dawid. Whosoever is wise, they will observe these things, the things of Yah. Even they shall understand the love kindness of Yah. Wise men understand, as they were saying, look where he brought me from. There are many that have been consumed by every kind of ill. And that's a fact. They understand the kindness of Yah's love. And they will do right by every man. I don't care who he is. I don't know who the person is. They will do right by them. I don't care who it is. Man is hungry, they will give them bread. Man that's wise, he understands counsel. When one speaks with his reproof or rebuke, a daughter, when it calls you to be disturbed, this is the love kindness of Yah. You tell me that I know I was young. My mother said things to me I didn't like it. It was her love kindness. And can I say this? Everything she told me was the truth. She didn't have the wisdom of Yah, but there was nothing she told me. It was wrong. Everything. She may not have done those things, or maybe she had, but everything she told me was right. She did not tell me one thing wrong that will cause detriment to me. She really didn't. Because she had traveled the road. She knew better than me. You must remember, she birthed me, not me myself, all right? But she was doing that. My mother smoked like a dragon. That was her demise, you understand? That was her demise. Because she just smoked. Just excessively. That's what killed my mother, really. She didn't have cancer. The smoke didn't kill her, but it created so many variants of diseases. Sugar diabetic and all that. Smoking may not kill you, but what it caused to come upon you, so many other things. You're going to die one way or the other, okay? And it's just a fact. It's just a fact. Other doctors say that. Say, you may not have cancer, but I tell you what, it opened the doors to everything, from diabetic to everything. This is where I'm going to close, all right? It is one thing that a wise man must do, and I want you to understand this word, parautes. Parautes is meekness. Let me define parautes for you, all right? Meekness. Let me read this. This is what Jacob says. He says, who is a wise man and endued with a knowledge among you? Who is a wise man? So you must, there is a judgment by us, among us, to see who is the wise man. Who is the one that is endued with the knowledge of Yah? He said, let him show out of tough conversation the way he lives, the way he acts, the way he responds. Tough conversation, his work, with parautes, with meekness of wisdom. Well, this is what parautes, this is what meekness means. I know we got our meanings. It means this, a kindness, a meekness toward Yah. In that disposition of our ruach, and which we accept the dealings of Yah with us as tough. In essence, this is what a man must teach with parautes, with meekness of wisdom. That don't be troubled by what circumstances have arose or risen in our lives. Don't allow that to cause you to be discouraged. Don't allow that to remove you. See, that's the meekness of wisdom. That's what he said. It means that my meekness, or the teacher's meekness toward Yah, is that disposition of the Ruach of Yah in which we accept his dealing. We say, Yah, you're able to do all things. See, that it convince you. You understand? That's what a wise man teaches us. That it convince you, Yah, I know you can. I'm going to wait, sit and wait on your truth to be fulfilled in me. You understand? With us as tough, and therefore without disputing or resisting. Don't get upset, don't get mad. Why me? Don't do that. Yeah. You just with meekness toward Yah, and that's what the messenger or wise man will teach you. Don't get upset, don't become unbalanced with Yah. Don't have the imbalance in your life. Because you say, Yah, I know that you're in command, and you're in control, and I know it's going to be all right. And may I say this? It is going to be all right. May the riches of Yah rest upon you all. Be encouraged, YisraYah'ale. I am. Those verses, I'm not going to give you no copy of the verses, because you got enough just to listen to that again and again. If you listen, the Emunah come by hearing. I want to read this. You know, before I left the house, I was looking at news. It's just you know, it's amazing, because you hear all these crazy police officers. A lot of them are mentally, they are mentally disturbed. I'm telling you, these young boys, they had no kind of identity in school or nothing like that. And it doesn't take the most physical individual or the best equipped individual to become a police officer. It just takes cats that don't have no drugs in their system, and they can pass the test. And many of them can't even pass the physical test. But I read this and I say, wow, listen to what the article says. The estimate number of law enforcement officers, listen, who die by suicide. These cats have blown their brains out. Outnumber those that died in the line of duty for the third straight year, and 2018, a newly released study shows. Blue Help, H-E-L-P, a Massachusetts-based nonprofit run by active and retired police officers, medical professionals, victims of family, compile and release the grim data this week. According to organizations, it's almost every other day a police officer commits suicide. You don't hear that. According to organizations, at least 159 officers took their lives in 2018. That's how many police officers killed themselves. Blew their brains out. The same number of suicides tracked in 2017, it was more than it is this year. It was 174 police officers killed themselves last year, and 19 more in 2016. By contrast, the estimated number of law enforcement officers died by the line of duty last year was 145, according to the annual report. They are killing themselves. And you can see some of these little nutty, fruity officers. They have no kind of social skill. If I ran this country, they would have to be at least 25 to 27 years old. These little cats are 20 years old. These women 20 years old can't even pick up 100 pounds. They're crazy. And they will shoot you. We kill you, this and they just throw your hands up. Oh, you're like, yes, man. I'll get down. You don't have to tell me to get down. I'm getting down on the ground. It's just stupid. They want to prove that they're strong and they're tough, and they're not strong and tough. They're weak. They're weak. They can't even deal with themselves, and they rape more women than I. They rape. They're thieves. They're dope heads. That's a fact. They even, the other day, man in Massachusetts in Walmart, he was a white boy. And all the officers were white. They don't care about you. The man was in a wheelchair. They paralyzed that man. Those officers got on that man, these big old burly boys, about 6 or 7 of them. They paralyzed the man even more. These little immature individuals, they don't know anything. What do you think it takes to become a deputy sheriff? I guarantee you this as we close. I know Lieutenant Ellaby. When I bust up all these statues out here, they gave me a judgment of $2,000. I didn't want the money. And I did that in front of him because what you think you're doing. I said, I want to give these $2,000, Judge, to Lieutenant Ellaby of the Sheriff's Association, that he may use as his discretion. Lieutenant Ellaby looked at me like that, like, oh man. Your Cyprian could be a deputy sheriff, all of them. Zakin Yarabia, it wouldn't take him long, he'd be sergeant or something. And you know what I'm saying? And some of these deputy sheriffs, you meet these little country ignorant boys, they can even hardly spell the word council. And that's just a fact. Because the elected sheriff, he can make anyone, he can deputize anyone. He can deputize anyone. I don't care who it is. As long as they got a clean record, and they don't even have to have that, he can deputize. Well, of course, I know Lieutenant Ellaby, and I said, we got some fine, studious young men. Lieutenant, come out here and eat meal with them. And here they are, look at them. Send them down. I don't want them to be no cop. Adolphus, when he left, he became one. He realized that it wasn't even worth it. He quit. It wasn't even worth it. It's not. It's sad. It's sad because they know they have done people wrong too, and abused. They shoot men for no reason, and oh yes, they do. Let us stand to our feet. Your brother, you should be encouraged. I am. Be strong. In all things, as we turn toward Jerusalem, in all things we do Barak Rabam, for the greatness of your blessings and riches in YHWH. We pray for the nations scattered abroad, in every land, in every corner of the whole land. Strengthen us all, touch us all, heal our friends, heal everyone, touch them and restore in YHWH's mighty name. Hallelujah.
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 and